how you doing? Let's get to work. Whew. Hey folks, how you doing? Pat Butler once again. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're going to have a great weekend. Okay. Um, there's so much stuff to talk about. I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm not even making any promises, but hopefully this is something that you can take something away from it, and hopefully it can add value to your home inspection business. All right. This is for the business owner. This is not for if you're working for somebody if you're working for a home inspection company, this is not necessarily for you. If you are a single or multi-inspector, but are the owner or the operator or the manager of a home inspection company, this is for you. All right, which is about I'm going to say easy about 90% of us are saying are self-employed, or we are saying in a small business. All right, there's a couple of us. So um, so this information is really for us. All right, I think that you heard me in my other videos, or my video earlier today. A lot of noise was happening in in the Facebook groups. I apologize for the red eyes. I had a long day, okay, and plus it was the fourth, so I probably drank too much stuff other than water. So don't do that. So so let's get into it. A lot of stuff to cover. I'm gonna try to get through it as most I can. If I go on tangents, please forgive me. But let's dig into it, okay? Uh, yes, there's too many people on the Facebook group who keep downing pre-listing home inspections, okay, as a vehicle to increase your business. I don't know why. I know why, and it's just really starting to tick me off. And because the people who are doing it are really compounding the problem. Let's say it like this, all right? Hopefully you can see me a whole lot better. We don't respect ourselves as a community, all right? We figured that if we kick ourselves or if we kick the other inspector, that's going to make us, the inspector who's doing the kicking, going to make us look more credible in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I find the stuff that the other home inspectors don't do. It never worked in no other profession. All right. If you outperform somebody, that's one thing. But if you tell other people how you're going to outperform them, 9 times out of 10 it doesn't end right, and you just make yourself look bad, and you make the whole self look bad. But think about it. You got real estate agents that are talking bad about inspectors, about them either missing something, or they take too long, or their reports, or anything else, or why they don't want to deal with a home inspector. You got all those reasons. And then you got the contractors who have to go back in there and either work on the stuff, or if somebody found something, why you didn't catch it and why you suck and all that. So you got those two. And then you got, like it says, the insurance companies that should, you should have caught this, and you should. There's about, I want to say easily, at least those three, if not more, of professions around the real estate market, the buying, selling, and the management of homes. I'm just want to say the homeowner market. That just really, the home inspector is the one who's carrying the most liability, but getting kicked in the teeth in the process. And now all of a sudden we got other home inspectors doing it. So we're wondering why we don't have saying a credible voice in the industry that represents home inspectors. Okay, think about it. You go on to HGTV and all these other home buying and home network guides and Fixer Upper and all these other programs. How many do you see about home inspectors? All right. Yeah, and even the ones that quote are home inspectors are contractors that are inspecting, that are working on their property that they're under contract. But how many people just as a neutral third party, as professional, shows about home inspectors? Anything about a home inspector? I don't wait. Not many, huh? No, because there's no need for us. All right, everybody else is telling our story. Real estate agents are telling our story. Contractors are telling our story. And who is the home buyer or the homeowner going to listen to? All right, they're going to listen to the contractor because they're so knowledgeable. They're going to listen to the real estate agent because they're so knowledgeable. They're going to listen to the bank because they have to, and they're going to listen to the insurance company because they have to. But everybody else has their ethics and their standards and their professionalism, and they may have a few bad apples, but all in all, their professions are reputable. But where's the home inspector in the conversation? And that's why I keep saying we need to own our own conversation. Need the ones to be telling our story. Sorry to be a bit back on ebonics, and I don't know if anybody even knows that term anymore, but yeah, I apologize. We need to tell our own story. We need to be what we do best. Have the conversation with potential clients, buyers, and sellers, and real estate agents and contractors, and tell what we see and own our own space. That's the reason why we're having a lot of problems now in the communities because we're not owning the conversation. And I thought that pre-listing inspections was a great way to introduce ourselves into the conversation because we're bringing something to the table. So I'm jumping ahead. So let's get back. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. All right. So let's start from the beginning. The market is changing phenomenal, almost overnight. The rule of 36 is gone. For those who don't know what the rule of 36 is, let me try to say it like this. There was a technical term. They call it the rule of 36, and this had to deal specifically with technology. All right, and the rule of 36 is what you know right now, the information that you're walking around with in your head will be obsolete and unusable within 36 months. Okay, so in so basically in about just less than like I said about 3 years, what you know now is going to be completely irrelevant. Those days are done. Information is turning over so fast that you could be out of the net for at least a week, and it's going to take you about another week just to catch up about what is happening on the ground now. It is happening so fast. A lot of the reasons that I haven't put out a lot of information, like I keep saying, I say I'm gonna put something out and I'm gonna put something out. But as soon as I put it out, somebody comes up with something else and it just scratches everything else, and I gotta throw it away, and then I gotta gather all the new information, and by the time I get that produced, something else is coming out. Let's take a look at pre-listing inspections and how that has happened, and maybe that can give you a better perspective of what I'm talking about. Okay, um, if you haven't known before, I talked about in a couple other videos. I'll give you hopefully a shorter version of it. Was in my market space, our real estate market was really hot. Homes were just, I mean, they couldn't keep, housing stock just could not keep up with the potential buying because we have a lot of industry that's growth and a lot of industries that are coming to the area that are going to be employing a lot of jobs. So there wasn't enough housing available. So houses were going up, available houses was in short supply. Everybody was making money hand over fist, and everybody was employed, and so you really didn't even have time to worry about the competition. You just had to keep up with your own up tempo, and that's how it was. So all of a sudden, we had three significant things that happened. Okay, and all of them were the same thing. They were major apartment development. Okay, I mean like three of them in phases came up. and I'm talking about 100 units or more, like 150, 250, 500 unit apartment complexes with pools and mass parking and, multiple buildings. I mean, like, you're looking about 15, 16 buildings, six plexes. I mean, big units. All of a sudden, you got about three of them going up in phases all at once. It just completely decimated the market. Now all of a sudden, now everybody had too much housing stock, and it's just that everything was drying up. So I thought first it was just my business that people wasn't calling me, but as I started doing more research, I started seeing real estate agents that I knew that was in the business that was getting out and starting to do other things, selling fragrances and candles or going back to school or what I'm saying, but they was not selling homes. And that's when I really start to look at and say, how can I be more of service to them and ultimately help my business keep growing. Okay, and that's where I started getting on the market as far as pre-listing inspections, because it was a program that I started before, never really had a lot of traction, and so I wanted to revisit that and try to make it better so that it just became more of a useful tool. And where I kind of realized where I was at was, in my mind, what I saw was that as I was doing it before, which had some traction, what I'm saying, it got more foot traffic to that house, and people were really starting to go online and download the reports. And but I think that there was a couple big reasons of why it didn't never really take off, and this really did. And that's why I really want to kind of talk about those things. And I kind of touched about them in my Facebook rant, but I think these things are very true. I think there's two reasons of why these things never really took off. One, like I said before, I think that we are not giving ourselves credibility in the market space. So we're not value adding as inspectors, because inspectors are the lowest people on the totem pole, and it's a necessary evil. And second of all, I think that honestly that there's just no really agents really never really had a reason to really use it, because one, it was pretty much about the home inspector, and two, the disclosure. I think that was the biggest reason, and you hear that from a lot of agents, and you heard it from a lot of inspectors too. Was that if you disclosed on some issues, that the house became less valued. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't able to sell it. If they can compare it to a brand new house. If you have a brand new house that has the same number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and it's in the same market area, nobody's going to buy that house. They're going to go for the other house. And I'm like, okay, well, if you got everybody looking at this one house and nobody's looking at that house, when that house gets sold, somebody's going to be looking at that other house because they have a requirement that they need to have filled, i.e., number of bedrooms and bathrooms and closer proximity to work and school and low crime rate and all the other things. So I didn't think that that really held a lot of water. But, what I'm saying? It did have some validity, just not as much as I thought, as I put stock in. And the other reason I think that is because the pre-listing inspection program, as it was in its original conception, focused the attention on the inspector. And I think that that was a really big problem. That's what I saw. I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the sign. I was like, why didn't this take off? And it's like, okay, well, we put the yard sign in. We said that the house was pre-inspected. Great. And what? Exactly. There's no way, there was not a lot of ways for an agent to use that and make that as a value add for that property. So that was, I think, was a lot of it. Was there was no way to market that. I mean, there was minimal ways to market it. Let's just be, more candid. There was no a lot. It was very hard. You had to be creative to use that as a marketing technique. All right. and the second thing was disclosure. So these were the things that was really heading folks up as far as why the programs wasn't really working. So when I got into it, what I brought to all of this was, hey, let's shift the attention from the inspector and let's focus it towards the agent. And does that, say with their work. And I look at, one of the things I look at is every time you turn around, you watch a football, baseball game, and they talk about Ford or Chevy trucks, and they turn around and it's like, you hear JD Powers Associates, saying they're giving all these awards for all these vehicles. All right. Have anybody ever been to a JD Powers and Associates website? Have anybody ever talked to them? Have you ever seen anybody that says, "Yeah, I'm from JD Powers and Associates"? No, they use them as a credible third party that says that, hey, their product is superior because it won this award or it does this. And so it's not us telling you that our product is good. It's somebody else telling us the product good. So if we kind of put the inspector back in that place and be that JD Powers and Associate, it let that agent now breathe that air that was being sucked out by by the home inspector, saying, "I inspected this property, and I'm telling you that it's pre-certified, it's pre-moved and certified." You just say, "Hey, this house has been pre-inspected. It's certified that saying there's nothing major going on going on in the house at the inspection." So now that and we create marketing material for that real estate agent to help get that message out there. All right. And now, since that is taking off, now a lot of other entities have really started to look at that and see that it's starting to bring value. Okay. Um, and for example, we can go on about Porch, but Porch did bought all the buyback guarantees for Inanachi. So that went in there. Nathan Thornberry and Residential Warranty Services, they created a package just for pre-listed inspections. So now we start to add value to to these properties that now we can turn around and give that marketing material or give that marketing edge to that real estate agent whose job it is to sell property. They are salespeople. That's what they do for a living. All right. It could be cars, it could be socks. For them, it's houses. But if you give them enough material that they can differentiate themselves from their competition, they're going to thrive. And what we're just doing now is now we're giving them a house that they can accurately forecast the price of the house, if not get those things repaired and command top dollar for that house. Okay. I want to show you some stuff that really got my mind. And I just really want to kind of talk to you about who it is that we're serving. Okay. Um, we really, this, the industry that we really have been working for a while has been built around one person, and that's that home buyer. And it's not because of accident or circumstance. Okay. It's been manipulated to do that. It's because that's the person who's flipping the bill. You know what I'm saying? When that house is built, when that house is owned, when that house is sold, the all the parties involved is being paid by that potential buyer. Okay. So it was built for them to make sure that they made it to the negotiation tables with the ability to pay the price for that home, which everybody else's meal ticket, including ours, was attached to that home. So that's the reason why the situation is the way it is now, is because the simple fact is that it's always been geared for that potential buyer. But who paid for it really? You know, yes, saying the seller's buying, but who's taking the loss? The one who's taking the loss is somebody who also needed help, and that was that potential seller. Okay, they're the ones that their house wasn't accurately disclosed or accurately forecast in marketing, so they're the ones who's losing 5, 6, 10, $12,000 on their house's value because of catering to the potential buyer. And I'm not trying to throw the buyer underneath the bus. No, it's quite opposite. I'm saying, why are we also throwing the potential seller underneath the bus because we're not taking care of them? And aren't they going to buy another home wherever it is that they go if they're just upgrade, or you know what I'm saying, they just need additional rooms and they're staying in the local area? Why would you want to be a part of that? I really don't understand this. Once again, I think it's the home inspection community just shooting itself in the foot, trying to be more credible, trying to show themselves to be a valuable source at somebody else's expense, who's also there in their market space, or not even now because we're all dealing on Facebook. So I think that was really the big thing that I've seen that is just really just irked the mess out of me, is that we are killing ourselves and killing each other just so that we can say that we're important. And I think that just sucks all the way across the board. But once again, I'm on a tangent, so let's come on back. So um, those are the reasons I think that we really are missing the boat as far as pre-listing inspections, because one, we have somebody who needs our services and would be willing to pay for these services to help them to be more competitive. Okay, we have agents that, if they could make their case or make their property more attractive to potential buyers, that they can get those houses sold faster. And also, everybody would be making more money because they would command the top dollar on that on that on that particular property. And I think that that's something that we really miss. And I don't think that people really truly appreciate the value that you have walking around in your head, just shifting your paradigm to say, hey, there's somebody else in here who needs our help, i.e., the seller. So let me just show you something. Hopefully, that this can kind of shift your paradigm and say, hey, wait a minute, there's an opportunity for us to sell our business so that we can be we can tap into another potential market and increase our business and still help people in the process. So Preston Sandlin came up with this video not too long ago, and hopefully this will uh, enlighten you as far as how much value the information that you have in your head as far as an inspector is for a potential seller. And I want you to listen to this. And this also goes into another reason of why now is really important, and why agents are really ready to listen to you now, because I think that agents wasn't ready to listen because of that disclosure and because of the lack of value that we've talked about. But there's a new sheriff in town that agents now gotta tend to, and if they're smart, they are gathering their resources to fight this in their market space. Okay, so anyways, once again, I want to give shouts out to Preston Sandlin. He's the one who posted this video, and I just want y'all to take a look and take a pad and pencil and count the numbers. Okay, let's go.
Selling your home to an online company. It's a practice growing in popularity across the Charlotte region.
It was very simple. I didn't have to worry about how long it's on the market.
By now, you've probably heard the names Open Door, OfferPad, Knock. These companies are new to Charlotte, offering to help you sell your home or buy it outright.
But we wanted to know if there's a catch to this. Eyewitness News anchor John Paul looked into the companies and asked how this new trend is changing our housing market.
After 14 years of owning this rental home in Huntersville, Bonnie Shimshak decided it was time to sell. She got offers from companies like We Buy Ugly Houses and Cash for Homes.
They were really lowballed. They wanted like 129 for our house.
So she decided to check with a company that's new to our area, OfferPad.
It's the new way homes are sold.
She'd seen these ads on TV and tried it out. Their offer, $192,000. $62,000, almost $70,000 higher, and with no open houses and a fast closing.
It was very, very unexpected.
Unexpected.
Yes,
Why?
because of the closing date that we chose.
From the time you guys contacted them to the time you had a check in your hands?
Yes,
15 days.
15 days.
After the sale, once Shimshak's family was out, the home saw a flurry of activity. Contractors painted. Plus, they put in new floors, countertops, appliances. Now it's back on the market again for $299,000.
They had done the upgrades that we thought we were going to have to do before we sold the house.
We dug through records and found that so far in Mecklenburg County, OfferPad's purchased more than 60 homes. Signs are popping up everywhere. This house on Wood Knoll Drive, purchased for $170,000, sold 2 months later for $208,000. This home on 4 Acre Court, purchased by OfferPad for $298,000, now on the market for $332,900. A couple doors down, the company scooped up this home for $284,000. After some upgrades, there's a pending sale for $319,900. A Channel 9 review of records shows on average, OfferPad charges 14% more than what they paid for a home. With these companies essentially flipping homes in Charlotte, we wanted to know, what is this going to do to the local market, especially when you consider Charlotte's in an affordable housing crisis? Is this something you guys have been watching at all?
Well, we certainly noticed it.
Dr. Richard Buttermer is the director of the Childress Klein Center for Real Estate at UNC Charlotte and says he's been curious about these new companies.
If you think of the traditional model of flipping you see on HGTV and some of these other places, I suspect what these folks are doing is they're bringing a little more larger scale to that.
We checked out about a dozen homes bought and sold by OfferPad. Nearly all appeared to have had renovations done. Will the prices across Charlotte be going up?
I don't think at the current levels of activity they're doing, which is around 100 homes, they're not really going to affect the overall market that much.
But Buttermer says as these companies gain a foothold and more houses are flipped for a profit, that could change. However, we found not every house is turning a profit. This one, for example, purchased by Open Door in South Charlotte for $401,000. On the market today for $387,000. The companies do take a commission, though, like a realtor, but they call it a fee. In Shimshak's case, Open Door charged $11,000. But with no open houses or repairs to deal with, she believes it was well worth it. John Paul, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Charlotte.
Selling your home to an online company. It's a practice growing in popularity.
My bad. I apologize. So she believes that she made out by doing OfferPad or one of the online companies. Well, it's not a surprise of who was behind that video. You know what I'm saying? They even gave a nice little jab at their competition. So I found it funny. But so did you count the money? Did you see the difference? Now, do you think the repairs and the commission costs are going to cover that? And the fact is that they're going to give you a higher offer at a bigger commission cut than a real estate agent. Because remember, the average real estate commission, and this is all sides being paid, all right, buyers and sellers agents, and if it's from a different brokerage, the brokers commission, both brokers commissions and both real estate commissions are coming out of 3 to 5% compared to the 12% or the $11,000. Yeah, really, come on, seriously. But I'm not throwing her underneath the bus, but I just really want to show you the value that you could sell potential clients for just doing a pre-listing inspection, recommending a local contractor in your network that's going to get those repairs done at minimal cost, and they can command that top dollar. Because I trust you, if they work with a real estate agent and you did the pre-listing inspection and identified any major issues, they would definitely pay for that, because the money that they paid you and them is smittens. Even if they turn around and got a free offer or a free quote and just to drop the price down just for those repairs, is still thousands of more than having one of those companies buy your house at low market value, reselling it at top dollar value, and putting on a can of paint and just fixing up the furnace for a couple $100s to get it working. Okay, and I want to ask this question. All right, so y'all can just instant message me on this one, or you could just go ahead and comment in the comments below. How many inspectors got called in to inspect a house from either Open Door or OfferPad? I'll wait. Do I hear crickets? Yeah, because there may be one or two of you, but not much. All right. So what I am trying to propose to you is that this is what you call a business opportunity. You have somebody who needs your services. And if you use your services and do what you do best, that they are going to benefit from that. All right. Why is it that we are trying to kill each other by saying that we're going to throw each other underneath the bus for doing a pre-listing inspection program? I really don't understand it. All right. We're all in business. I'm not trying to say that you got to, hold hands and say kumbaya, but, I honestly believe that we are really bringing down the home inspection community as a whole if we just keep turning around and shooting ourselves in the foot by telling us how this inspection, pre-sale inspections or pre-listing inspections is, saying it's not worth getting into. All right. There are people out there who do need your services. All right. You would do this for a seller. You would offer radon, you would offer mold, you offer thermal imaging, you offer a home energy inspection, or or any other ancillary services, sewer scope, termite, name it. You know what I'm saying? The house is long. The list is long. We have all these other different services that will take care of these people. Why won't we take care of somebody who just needs our help just as much, and their money is just as good as everybody else's, and that is the potential seller, right? And remember what pre-listing inspections are supposed to do anyways. It's only designed to do one thing, and that is to create the rapport, take care of the client, but also build a rapport with the real estate agent. Because if you are putting your name on that house for a pre-listing inspection, they already know what your work looks like. They know how thorough you are. And wouldn't they turn around naturally if they already know you and you already helping them sell their homes, that they would call you if they happen to go into an agency where they're working for a potential buyer? It should be a no-brainer for them to say, hey, I got this inspector that I've used. I know it's working. You know what I'm saying? He or she, saying real thorough, turn around, report real accurate, get it back to you, nice and professional. Here's one of the other inspections that you've seen, and they can give a pre-listing inspection report. There's no better marketing than a home inspection report. I can't tell you how many times that people seen my inspection reports and they called me because they seen it from somebody else. Just saying. But guys like Dave Clemmer, Preston Sandlin, Dave Ashland, and the rest of the inspection field have really went ahead and tried to create a environment so that everybody could benefit from this. Okay, and now it says now I with Homeworthy, we're throwing our name in the hat too. There are things that you can do that is going to help you increase your business. Okay, and let's talk again about innovations. Okay, there's different types of innovations out there, and one of the things that I look at as far as um, what is being brought to the table right now, because like I said, this thing is changing so fast. What these other sites are doing is that you are got they can now upload your inspection reports onto their sites, and for a nominal fee, People can take a look at these inspection reports and, see their house and kick the tires, which is helping that potential buyer to help discriminate because they can now, at least at minimum, look at houses that's going to be in their budget. Okay, if they know that they have a budget, but if they know they have an issue, then they can manage their money better. All right, and making that home purchase. Doesn't mean that they're going to walk away from that house, but hey, if it was just like, hey, we was going to go ahead and buy this and that, but hey, we can get this house and we can either get this fixed and get it at a lower price, or uh, we can we can negotiate anything. You know what I'm saying? They're even if the buyer is going in with a better advantage because they know what it is that they're buying. Okay, which limits their liability. Okay. Now, like it says, if you really feel like that you can only make yourself valuable by saying how much that pre-listed inspector missed and how much they suck at their job and oh well he missed that and he caught that. Now I'm not saying don't do your job, but if that is the intent, the main intent of you going into that inspection, knowing that the house was pre-inspected, and you're like, oh well, I'm going to show them up, and I don't know if this is the right business for you because you I'm not going to do business with you because if you are ready to put your boots on now and do a great job because the house is pre-listing, what happened if the house wasn't pre-listing? Was you going to put that much effort into it then? Just a thought. So, so let's get back to it. These sites, like it says, pre-inspected and inspected houses and pre-sale check. All these sites, what you're doing is you're getting their reports and you're putting on there for the real estate agent, and they're able to attract potential buyers, and agents can get those lead generators. That is something that's really critical for them to to come back to them. Every time that report is downloaded, you get to see who's actually downloading that report, which is something critical for a real estate agent. And if you think that's buying and selling data, wake up. It's 2018. That is not buying and selling data, okay? That is a requirement for real estate agents. Remember those things that they call open houses? Remember that thing they call a guest book? Why do you think they have that guest book? So they can get that name, that number, that point of contact for two reasons. One, they have to verify that they're doing their job to their potential buyers. It's like, hey, I had 15 people that came by to your open house. Yeah. Well, the 9 times out of 10, that seller's not at the open house. They don't know how much traffic came through. It's that agent's job to report to them of what they're doing and how many people are coming by. That's them showing them that they're doing their job. All right. And when somebody downloads a report and they get their name and point of contact, that's how they verify that somebody actually looking at their house. And also a lead generator that if that person doesn't buy that house, or if that person is interested in buying the house, they can actually start that dialogue. If they don't buy that house, hey, are you still looking for a house? I can help you look for other houses. That's how they stay current and relevant in their market. That's how they make money. So there's nothing serious about that. That's just how real estate agents make money. You know, they turn around, they look for people who are buying and selling houses. So they're going to use that information to help people buy and sell houses. All right. That's not them selling data to another third party that's trying to upsell and sell it to a contractor. That is a requirement for each listing agent. Okay, they have to report those numbers. All right, and that's why those numbers are very important for agents, and that's why they're into that conversation because now, if you haven't noticed, that Zillow is actually buying and selling houses. So agents were spending up to $1,000 a month for lead generation on potential properties. And the worst thing about it was if it was their property that they're listing, they still had to fight against other people who were premier listings who also paid $1,000 at least a month that you turn around and you put it on your property, you got the top billing, but right underneath there's three other people, same size photo, same points of contact. There's no different font, there's no different sizes. It says that you are the person to talk to. No, it's saying you got four people. This person is the listing agent in a small little bar, but everything else is looking the same. So how is that going to be viable for an agent? And now it's even worse is because the agents are now competing against the system that they're paying money. So they're paying money for somebody who's now buying and selling houses that you don't need a real estate agent for. Okay, that's why agents are now looking for new ways to make themselves more relevant because now who they trusted this far, i.e., Zillow, has now became a competitor in their own market space. Like they're buying houses because they see the guys like OfferPad and Knock and stuff like that are buying and flipping houses. Zillow's like, hey, we already got the housing stock. Why don't we do it? Well, where does that leave that agent? This is why I said before, if you don't have a pre-listing inspection program, you are missing out. Get with the program. The agents are looking for a way to differentiate themselves in their market space. And if you can present them with a effective pre-listing inspection or pre-sale inspection program, your business is going to improve. I don't even know how else to explain it to you. If you can turn around and find an agent and say, hey, I can get this house for you. When people drive by, they can download the report and all that information goes to you and nobody else. They won't take that. How much do you think that they would pay? Like I said, there's some agents, I know some brokers that are paying, they're paying like couple thousand because they have themselves and their other agents on Zillow as premier agents. Thousands. How many people are making $1,000 inspections outside of James Gante? Two, three of you, maybe. That's what I'm saying. Get onto the program. Not because I'm trying to sell you something. It's because the more that we do it, the more relevant we become in our own market space. That's why I've been doing it. Not because I'm getting rich. Trust me, I'm retired already. I'm good. You know, I'd like to make more money. I got kids that want to go to college. I can always use more, but I'm not here at the expense of other home inspectors trying to sell you a bag of goods that I don't think that's work. And if I put my name behind it, I promise you that I'll help you make it work. Okay? Like I said, that's why I signed up with, that's why I'm working with HomeWorthy because not only am I using it, I think it's a fantastic product. And how does it make you even more better? I'm going to show you this right now. All right? Why do I think Homeworthy? Because I know I'm just going on a tangent because this is something that really got to me. I'm trying to do my best, and I think that there's something that's there. And folks are just really trying to throw me underneath the bus. It's like, oh, well, you're just another marketer. All right? One, I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't use myself. And second of all, I'm not going to tell you anything just so I can get some money because I like to walk into Vegas. I like to go to Atlantic City and shake people's hands and have a couple of drinks and do high fives and you know what I'm saying. I didn't do go-kart racing, but I got skills. I'm just saying. But I like these things too, and I'm not going to go there that I'm going to have somebody who thinks that I sold them a bag of nothing, you know, or a bag of goods that's not going to help their business. I'm not going to nickel and dime people like that because I like to sleep at night. I don't like to look over my shoulder. Right? I did that for 20 years. It's not fun. So I want to tell you how do I think Homeworthy can do something better. And like I said, do you have to do it? No. All right. But this is what you can do. Say, for example, you got your pre-listing inspection program, all right? Say that you're using Dave and Preston's site. I'm just using that one as an example. Like I said, it's Dave Ashland, Sean McNeil, John Grant. Everybody got their own programs. I'm telling you right now, get on one of them. But I'm just going to use Dave and Preston's right now just for example, okay? So you got theirs, right? They are now have the way that the system is that you sign up for this system. They will give you, they will assign a number. You get yourself some yard signs, and when you do a pre-listing home inspection, you get a text number. And once the house is available for inspection, people can text that number, and that lead generation goes to you and goes to the real estate agent. Okay, like I said, there's fees involved, so I'm not getting into that. Talk to them, go into the sites. It's all disclaimed. I'm not trying to sell them, but I want to show you how you can just value add that. So that information goes to the real estate agent and to the home inspector. All right, so you can start that dialogue with that potential buyer, and the agent can do the same. All right, so that information is there. So how can HomeWorthy is? All right. Well, once again, we're talking about innovations. So since they came up with that system, HomeWorthy came out with a way to value add that. Okay, because everything right there has to go onto that website. All right, and if you remember, technology just keeps on moving along. And kind of give you kind of another way to look at that is let's look at like I said, cell phones and stuff like that. If you don't remember Steve Jobs' speech about the first rollout of the iPhone, look at that, and it all came down to two things, right? He wanted to make sure that you only had one button to push on that phone, and the whole phone you could work from that button. It says not a whole bunch of buttons, not a whole keyboard, just one button. Okay, and he called it a smart button, and you can press that, and everything came alive. But the technology about it was a graphic interface that basically you can work the screen, and you can use that just as easy as you did a simple keyboard. Okay, it wasn't just there that you can actually interact with the images. That was the technology, okay? But it worked from one button. If you push that button, then everything else came to you. Well, what HomeWorthy did was they created one button that you can now add. You can value add your pre-listed inspection program just with one button. So, for example, you turn around and you did your report and you redacted your copy and you uploaded it onto Dome, and you got your agent on HomeWorthy, okay, on a free account. Think about it. They get 5 reports for free. So do you. If once after your 30 days expires, you got that, and now they can go in there and they can generate a button that they can put on their own website, or they can put it on Facebook, or LinkedIn, or Google Plus, or a splash page, or a flyer, or a business card that somebody can turn around, look, click on it, scan, whatever, and now they can actually have that actual inspection report and still get all the data back to the agent so that they can still report their numbers from one button. So now, still from being from that one site, they can now click on one button, and somebody who's not there at the inspection, you can turn around and you can take a flyer. You can use a regular old flyer, turn around, instead of having a logo right there, you can turn around and put a barcode and scan that and actually get and that potential buyer can download the inspection report. And because they did that, all that information goes right back to the real estate agent, and they can now create that conversation as well. That's the type of way, that's what I mean by technology is happening so fast. All right. And it just value adds to your inspection company. So now you have multiple ways that you can get that property out there. Okay. And it's so much more that I already taken too much time to talk about it right here. But I just want to tell you about that. It's like, the technology just happens so fast. It will make your head spin. And there's more stuff coming out. I mean, there's more. Trust me. As I'm making this video right now, there's 3 more things that I could be adding in there, but I can't because it's coming up and I got to wait until it's actually out there to even tell you. That's how fast this thing is changing. That's how so much things are improving, and I'm trying to implore you. I am not a salesman trying to say, hey, buy this and it's going to make you. No, I am the duck trying to tell you it's getting ready to rain. Get yourself in a good position because when it rains, you're saying till your fields now, plant your seeds now because it's going to rain. Okay, when it's going to rain and you're in position, you're going to have crops, as they say it, pressed down, rolled, and runneth over. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I had a church moment. So, uh, where was I? Get your pre-listed inspections programs together. I'm just telling you this right now. I know I went too far. I then ran into a new tangent. I probably created a whole new program that I didn't even want to talk about. But like I said, there's so much information right now that I just really, I think I would be remiss if I wasn't somebody that's your brethren in this inspection company, in this inspection industry, and I am a big subscriber that saying a rising tides raise all ships. And the more that we do this collectively, the more value that other people will see in what it is that we're doing. The more people that see it, the more people that will use it. The more people that use it, the more valuable we become to the communities by and large, locally and nationally and internationally. So that is why I am imploring you to do this, okay? Let's go back over the benefits, okay? For that potential seller, they can now, for minimal cost, or just to disclose so that they can report an accurate price on their home instead of getting talked down much more than what they would be because their house, they already assessed at one value and everybody knows that that value is not accurate. You're helping them. They can command top dollar, okay, and not be blindsided. That seller's agent now has a new way to be relevant in their market space because now they can find new ventures and new avenues to promote that home than being on a site with hundreds of other agents and other companies that they still are paying for to compete against. Okay, and they're now being a more of a value add because now they're more competitive against these third party sites that are buying houses and flipping them and taking more money from those potential clients and moving them out of the business. Okay. For that potential buyer, they are buying a house that they already know what the issues are. Okay. Or at least what the major issues are. So they know exactly what it is they're getting at the price that they're going to get it. And they can make a more accurate decision. That buyer's agent is going to make it a whole lot easier because now they can go and pinpoint all the things that they're looking at. Even if they hire a second home inspector, it's just going to further drum down what they already see and know. Okay, one guy says that the roof is this age, but they're showing size of agent. Well, let's get our own guy up there, and he can give us a more accurate analysis. So there's still a market space in there for the the typical home inspector working for the potential buyer. It's not that one is getting squeezed out. All right, let's kill that rumor. Okay, there's going to be some cheap people who do not want to pay for an inspection. They don't want to pay for an inspection, one. And any excuse that they can get away from not paying for an inspection, they do that. So let's get away from that. But that's not going to kill uh, the inspection services for potential buyers. Let's just get over that lie. Okay. But for that buyer's agent, they can further drum down and get a more accurate price, and you can see what it is that you're willing to invest in or that you want to negotiate over. But it's not going to be the big jumps that can kill a deal because the seller thought that they could sell it at one price and they can't. Okay, and I think that that's where the deal killer came from. That's a whole nother episode. But so everybody else makes advantage. And where does the home inspector make advantage? You build rapport with the potential real estate agent who's looking for the seller, that you're helping them become relevant in their market space. Because you're adding more value, it's only logical they're going to work with you on other real estate issues. When they have a seller, or when they're working for a potential buyer, they're going to call you because they already know what you're going to do. You got that. You got the potential for the agent, for the seller, if they're staying in the local area, that they're going to use you again because you already helped them out. They're not going to scour through the phone book or comb through Google to find another home inspector when they already know that you did a good job because you already got their house sold. So you already got that. Uh, you already got that pretty much locked in. You can only gum that up. Also, anybody who looks at that inspection report, either from the buyer or from the seller, they're going to see, and if they're in the market, they're going to call you. Remember, you're their best advertisement. The best advertisement is not the videos, not the business cards, not the flyers, not even the yard signs. It's that inspection report. If that inspection report is written professionally, easy to understand, lots of photos, you know what I'm saying, it sells itself. They say, oh, okay, this obviously this inspector knows what they're talking about. Hey, now that we saw that house, yeah, let's give them a call. Hey, we already know what they're going to do. It's just a no-brainer. They don't have to think about it. It's no heavy lifting involved. They know somebody confident is going to be able to look at the house and best represent them because they saw you do it already. Okay? So for potential friends of potential buyers and sellers, you're going to have that. All right? And then also, like it says, you can also build that rapport with that potential buyer's agent. All right? And because you're there and you're a part of the house already, if that potential buyer wants to do anything else, you can keep that conversation going. So when it's time for them to make upgrades, if it's a brand new build, that you go in there and inspect before the warranties expire. If you need to just do a follow-up inspection on a roof, or they want you to do a chimney inspection or a pest inspection, or who to call because they have issues. You already assigned to that. You already been attached to that house. So all these things is just win, win, win across the board. And when everybody wins, that's a business opportunity that you definitely want to be a part of. So that is my soapbox for today. I think I done talked it out. I think that everybody's ears are bleeding from this point. But hopefully I showed you some stuff of why this thing is just taking off. And once again, just like Microsoft or Apple or any of these other incontinuities in a business market space, before it takes off, everybody calls it crazy and everybody calls it dumb and that it's not going to work. Here's your chance to be on the cusp of something. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft or Apple or Samsung, to be an investor now is a no-brainer. But, you know what I'm saying, 30, 40 years ago, when it was just these, you know what I'm saying, when it's just these guys and gals working out of a garage, you know what I'm saying, it looked like it was a lot more risky. But the math is there. So do the math. If you have questions, instant message me, and I will do my best to just point you in the right direction. Just the facts, okay? I already told you, I think HomeWorthy is a fantastic product. There's 15 other different things that just the program, just by managing your documents through HomeWorthy, that is just going to be phenomenal, that I think that's going to help a business. But if you don't buy it, no sweat off me. I just want to help y'all, okay? I just really want to help other inspectors. That's what I like to do. I enjoy it, obviously, because if not, I wouldn't be doing these videos. So, instant message me, or you can comment on below, and I'll follow up, okay? If you got questions, go on to my website, go to Tallgrass Home Inspectors if you do want to try it. Go to the Gateway to Dome You can click on there, go right down there, fill out the thing, put your email, and when you do that, you'll get a confirmation email. Click on that, and then you'll be into the system. And then there's a whole bunch of how-to videos to help you manage and maximize what you can do with Dome. And I will start creating a lot more content of how to increase your business by using HomeWorthy Dome. If you are interested in the other inspection packages or the other pre-listed inspection programs, talk to Dave Clymer. He's on Facebook all the time. Talk to Preston. He's there. David Ashland, if you want to use his. Sean McNeil down in Florida, if you want to use the one that they're down. And look out for more, because it's just going to grow. If you want to learn how to do pre-list inspections through HomeWorthy Dome, just call me, okay? Once again, this is Pat Butler. Hopefully you have a great weekend, all right? I am going to wash my face and get some rest and get this thing posted. Got any questions, give me a call, all right? Honest to God, I love you all. You know what I'm saying? It's real, all right? Y'all stay blessed, have a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon, all right? Thank you.